Hey guys, it is NCS Fan 001 here for another one of those trophy list analysis videos. Today's game is the port of Red Dead Redemption on the PS4. So, this Platinum Trophy comes with 52 total trophies worth 1,350 points. 1 Platinum, 3 Golds, 4 Silvers, and 44 Bronzes. Now, there are definitely a lot of concerns about this particular game, the fact that we aren't getting a remaster like people kind of thought or wanted, and instead we're just getting a very slightly enhanced port, as in, better loading times and such, of the original game along with the Undead Nightmare DLC. Now, I am actually excited for this game. I think it's going to be fun, but I don't really see it being worth $50, so it's definitely not going to be any sort of a day one for me. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the trophy list. So the trophy list is actually pretty much identical to the original Red Dead. Just a few of the trophies I think have slightly different values, and the Platinum Trophy now includes some trophies that were formerly DLC. So I can actually judge this one pretty accurately because I did the original Red Dead Redemption many years ago. It's actually been about almost 10 years since I did the original Red Dead. So we're starting off with our story trophies, mostly bronzes. Well, actually, first we have Legend of the West. You've become a true Legend of the West. That is our Platinum Trophy. For those who are not trophy hunters, that is the trophy award that you get for completing all other trophies in the game. So now we actually look at the story-related bronze trophies. The Government Boy, complete Exodus in America. Land of Opportunity, complete the Assault on Fort Mercer. Sons of Mexico, complete the Gates of El Presidio. No More Fancy Words, complete an appointed time. A Savage Soul, complete At Home with Dutch. The Benefits of Civilization, complete And the Truth Will Set You Free. Into the Sunset, complete The Last Enemy That Shall Be Destroyed. And then we have our first gold trophy, Nurture or Nature, complete Remember My Family. That is the final story mission in the game that you get after you go into the time jump at the very end of the game. I don't want to spoil anything, but all I'll say is that there's a time jump at the end. So all of those trophies are story related and should be pretty much unmissable while playing through the game, unless any of them happen to be bugged. Now we're back to a whole bunch of bronze miscellaneous trophies, because pretty much everything else now is miscellaneous open world, pretty typical Rockstar stuff. High Roller, win over 2,000 ships in a hand of poker. With that one's going to require just a little bit of luck and a little bit of knowledge on how to play poker, but it's nothing too bad. That one might have actually been unmissable during one particular area of the game from what I remember, but I might be wrong on that. No Dice, complete a game of Liar's Dice without losing a single die. That shouldn't be too bad. What about Hand Grenades? Get a ringer in a game of Horseshoes. That's fairly easy. Austin Overpowered, complete Twin Rocks, Pikes Basin, and Gaptooth Breach hideouts. Hideouts are sort of like gang strongholds are in GTA 5, pretty much. Evil Spirits, complete the Tumbleweed and Tesoro Azul hideouts. Instinto Assassino, I'm sure I butchered that a little bit. Complete Fort Mercer and Nosalita hideouts. So those are all just hideouts. Like I said, they work a lot like the whole gang strongholds do in GTA 5. Fight and round the world. Knock someone out in melee in every saloon in the game. That's not too hard. I don't remember how many saloons there are, though. Strange things are afoot, and people are still strange. A bronze and a silver trophy. These are for completing a task for a stranger and completing 15 tasks for strangers. So from what I remember, the stranger missions are basically just side missions in this game, just sort of like the Strangers and Freaks stuff is in GTA 5. I don't think there's all that many in this game, because this game definitely has fewer missions than something like GTA 5, so that's good for a trophy hunting perspective. Buckin' Awesome, break the Kentucky Saddler, the American Standardbred, and the Hungarian Half-Bred. Those are 3 of the really good horses in the game, so just break all 3 of them throughout your playthrough. Clemency Pays, capture a bounty alive. That one's probably going to be about unmissable from what I remember. There's plenty of opportunities to do stuff like that. Dastardly, place a hog-tied woman on the train tracks and witness her death by train. Very glad they brought that classic trophy back. Exquisite Taste. Purchase a rare weapon from a gunsmith. That shouldn't be too difficult, just a little bit later in the game. Barely Legal. Kill and skin 18 grizzly bears. I don't remember this trophy being as hard in the original Red Dead as it is in Red Dead 2, where it's kind of buggy and kind of weird and inconsistent with the bear spawn, so hopefully I'm correct in that it's easier in the original game. He cleans up well. Obtain the elegant suit. I believe that was something that you got for maybe doing all of the gambling stuff in the game, or it might have even just been a reward that you get along the time that you 100% the game. It has been almost 10 years since I've played the original game, at least the single player of it, so I could be a little bit wrong or misremembering a few things. More than a fistful, earn $10,000. I think that's something you'll probably get by the time you finish everything in the game and get the 100%, because that is a later trophy. So now we have a silver trophy, and this is the only trophy that I legitimately do not remember being in the original Red Dead. It's called Frontiersman. Obtain legendary rank in any ambient challenge. This is the only trophy I really don't remember being in the original version of the game, so I don't actually know how difficult that one's going to be. The Gunslinger. Score a headshot on any enemy using expert targeting mode. That's very easy. That just means no, auto-locking onto targets. Man of Honor / Chivalry's Dead. Attain highest fame rank and either highest or lowest honor rank. That's something that you're going to get pretty much toward the very, very end of your playthrough, because those are two different systems. From what I remember, fame is almost more like just leveling up, even though there's not any true leveling up, whereas honor works the same way as, say, karma does in Fallout 3. Gold medal. Earn a gold medal rank for a combat mission. That was a trophy in the original, and I remember the gold medals and the combat missions were definitely harder than many of the ones in Red Dead 2, but the fact that you only have to do one makes this much, much easier than the similar trophy in Red Dead 2. Manifest Destiny. Kill the last buffalo in the Great Plains. You actually have to kill about 20 buffalo for that trophy, from what I remember. On the Trail of Devaka. Uncover every location on the map. That one should be fairly straightforward. There's not as many locations, and the world's definitely smaller than it is in Red Dead 2. Friends in high places. Use a pardon letter with more than $5,000 bounty. So from what I remember with this one, you have to pretty much rack up a super high bounty. Then you have to somehow get away from the U.S. Marshals and hide somewhere until the heat goes away, and then you can go in and pay the bounty. I remember there was a good strategy to do this, and maybe it was in Blackwater. There was a building you could hide on top of, if I remember correctly. Redeemed. Another gold trophy. Attain 100% in the game completion stat. So this is your really, really big time-consuming trophy for the game. It's not, the most difficult game from Rockstar to 100%, but there is a lot to do in this game, so that trophy is not going to be quick. It's going to be one of the last things you get unless you're doing Undead Nightmare later. Spurred to victory. Complete 20 story missions without switching to a new horse at a hitching post. We're back to bronze trophies. From what I remember, this is the only trophy that was missable in the original game because there's only about 60 story missions. So you have to use the same horse for pretty much a third of the story. So from what I remember, I think this one is missable, so do keep an eye out for that one. Heading south on a white Bronco, evade the U.S. Marshals while riding the Hungarian half-bred horse. So first you have to tame the Hungarian half-bred, or break it, I guess would be the correct term. And then you have to get a high bounty and evade the U.S. Marshals, which is a little bit tricky, but it's nothing, too overwhelmingly difficult from what I remember. Mowing them down. Kill 500 enemies with a mounted weapon in any game mode. That one is going to be best done in the Undead Nightmare DLC because there's a really great place where you can farm it at one of the fortresses or something there. It's real easy to farm. And now for the last of the actual Red Dead Redemption base game original trophies. In a hail of bullets, kill 500 enemies with any pistol or revolver. That's pretty straightforward. Long Arm of Marston. Kill 500 enemies with any rifle repeater or shotgun in any game mode. So that's, again, pretty self-explanatory. Bullseye. Get 250 headshots in any game mode. Again, that's pretty self-explanatory. Unnatural Selection. Kill one of every animal species in the game. Now, you might remember that from Red Dead 2. Thankfully, this version is nowhere near as painful as Red Dead 2, as there's only 30 animals or something in the game. It's definitely not that many, and most of them are actually pretty easy to find, plus you don't have to skin them and get perfect pelts or anything like you did in Red Dead 2, so it's noticeably easier. Now we have something that I wasn't expecting. Two trophies that were originally DLC in the original Red Dead. They were part of either the Liars and Cheats or whatever the second or third DLC. They were parts of either the second or third DLC. And they're single player focused, which is strange, but because those were multiplayer focused DLCs, but now they're in the game. So they are Axe Master and Master Exploder. Complete all Tomahawk challenges and complete the Explosive Rifle challenge. I don't remember any of these being very difficult, but it is interesting that they're throwing those into the game as just an extra thing for us to do and have some extra weapons. And finally, we are on to the Undead Nightmare trophies, which this time around are part of the Platinum. The Downward Spiral complete Curious Tales from Blackwater, USA Survivor Mission. Judge a man by the ... complete Cure for most of what ails you and get back in that hole partner Survivor missions. The Superior Dance complete Mother Superior Blues Survivor Mission. Those are all bronzes. All's Right with the World complete On a Pale Horse. That's a silver trophy. So those, from what I remember, are all story-related trophies from Undead Nightmare. Spinning Plates have every territory saved at the same time during Undead Nightmare. That's not too hard from what I remember. You have to have some reasonably good gear for it, but I don't remember it being all that difficult. Zed's Dead, baby. Attain 100% game completion statistic in Undead Nightmare. That's our last gold trophy. I don't actually remember what you had to do for 100% in Undead Nightmare. It's just, I know it's a lot, shorter than the base game, so I don't really remember exactly what it is, though. Mad Marston, the Trail Warrior. Attain rank 5 in all Undead Nightmare challenges. I don't remember any of those being particularly difficult. Fan Service. Find and break a unicorn. That's another mount you can get. It's a fairly rare spawn from what I remember. And then finally we have Chupa Thingy and 6 years in the making for finding and killing a Chupacabra and finding and killing a Sasquatch. Those are, tougher enemies to kill, but I don't remember any of those trophies being particularly hard. So overall, the Platinum Trophy is basically just taking trophies from the original Red Dead and repackaging them into a slightly different list with no multiplayer. So the lack of multiplayer means that this Platinum Trophy is going to be much quicker and definitely a bit easier than the original Red Dead. Because in the original, you had to do things like, I think you had to win 3 competitive games in a row and a bunch of other crazy multiplayer stuff. Plus, those servers have always been kind of jank ever since GTA 5 came out. So thankfully we don't have to deal with any of that this time around. The most challenging parts are going to be 100%ing the game. In reality, it's probably the only really difficult trophy. And like I said, there is that one missable trophy, so just keep that one in mind. Overall, I would say this Platinum Trophy is probably going to equate, without the multiplayer, to about a 4 out of 10 in difficulty overall, just because of the amount of time that goes into some of these trophies. And for time, I would say it's going to be over 50 hours, especially with, having a whole DLC and all. So probably over 50 hours, but it's going to be a fun time when it eventually drops in price. Now, I do also want to say something. Apparently, this game is getting 4 different versions. A North American, a European, and an Asian, I think, are all confirmed. So they're doing multiple versions for some reason. I guess maybe to milk money out of trophy hunters or something. That's the only thing I can think of for why they would do that. So there probably goes my whole goal of someday finishing every single Red Dead game, because initially there were only 3 and I had finished 2 of them, the 2 most time-consuming ones. I still have to do Red Dead Revolver, but I know that that one's not super difficult and that one isn't anywhere near as time-consuming. So I guess I won't be able to technically do every single Red Dead game unless they all, drop crazy in price or something. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And the Red Dead Redemption port releases on August 17th, 2023. Like I said, will not be buying this day one for any reason, just waiting until it goes down in price a lot. But I will play it eventually because I think it's going to be fun. So, thank you guys for watching, and see y'all back here later for another trophy video.